Hello, everyone, and welcome to She Plays a Podcast. A super exciting day today. Today, we are joined by Julie Uhrman, founder and president of Angel City FC. Welcome to the podcast, Julie.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
We just were so excited with the announcement of the team in LA, and now the new announcement that you'll have an in state rival in Sacramento, which is pretty exciting, right?
Absolutely. And we have a name, we have a stadium, we have a rival. We kind of have to round it out with some colors and crest and some ticket holders, but we're getting there.
Oh, you're getting there and you're doing an amazing job. I mean, really off the bat, you should, I'm sure you are aware of like all the Twitter chat, but people are just super impressed with the way you guys have rolled out your team, the way you have, structured it. So it's just really neat to see, especially a lot of women in the ownership group as well. But I'd love to take it back and hear a little bit about, your experience, your interest in the sports world. Let's start
Mhm.
there.
Sure. So I'm an athlete. I'm a huge sports fan. I played basketball. So my first memory of basketball was coming home with a flyer when I was in fourth grade, about 8, 9 years old, for the YMCA to join the basketball league. And I have a twin sister, so my sister and I wanted to join, and my mom said, this is boys." And we said, "Yeah." And she said, "Sounds good." And so it was 80 boys and my sister and myself for a couple of years playing at the YMCA, which I certainly think helped instill like this sense of grit and never give up. And women are just as good as men. And at that age, we were. I mean, we were probably the two best players on the team. Fortunately, it was so long ago, nobody's going to remember me saying that and come out of the woodwork. But yeah, so played basketball my entire life through college, and then I'm just a huge fan. I'm a USC ticket holder. I have fallen in love with the world of global soccer. I'm a huge Formula One fan, NFL, NCAA basketball. So I'm a huge shorts fan, and one of our other co-founders, Kara Nortman, is as well. And so we would bond over that. We actually played basketball against each other in high school, and it's almost kind of a fun full circle where we reconnected to pursue this idea during a summer wild feminist women who tech basketball league that we're in with a
Love
couple
it.
of our friends here in LA. So there's some nice symmetry to the story.
That's awesome. LA sounds like we've had Stephanie Allen on, who's a part of the Pistol Shrimps, that like female comedian basketball pickup group. And now to hear there's a wild feminist tech one, that's amazing. That's so cool.
Well, to temper your enthusiasm, it certainly sounds more impressive than it is. I mean, it's 3-on-3 with a lot of rosé drinking, and I'm not going to tell you which one happens more, but one of them does for sure.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. But yeah, so you've been a athlete, and I love the only two girls to show up and be a part. That's amazing. I mean, I feel like that's probably taught you a lot in life of just making a space for yourself, which is awesome. But you're big in the gaming world. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I am. I'm born and raised here in LA. My passion has always been around creating content, and running the soccer club is really no different. We are creating content. We're creating an entertaining experience that, it has sports as its roots, but when you think about the experience around it, it's much bigger. But when I was young, my stepfather came home with a leading edge computer, which you probably never heard of the brand, and like eventually a compact computer that had a monochrome screen. And my sister and I, at very young age, was dialing up bulletin boards to download games, and getting excited when it went up to like 9600 baud and before that. So loved gaming as a kid, and spent a lot of time in gaming at Universal Interactive, which became Vivendi Universal Games. I did a lot in mobile, which had a huge gaming component at a number of companies, and then found my way to IGN, where I ran business development, and then became the general manager of a couple of their businesses, which really sparked the idea for OUYA, which was my company, back in 2013 to 2016, which was an Android-based video game console, which was effectively democratizing the idea of gaming and bringing the open platform of Android to the television, where developers could be in the living room, which was and still continues to be the space where gamers spend the most money, spend the most time, and where you have the most robust gaming experience. So how do you take this wealth and incredible talent of independent game developers and make it easy for them to access those fans and to leverage the television in doing so? And this is before, an app store on Apple TV or an app store on Amazon Fire, but built OUYA, with our fans through Kickstarter, and then continue to expand it and grow it, and took it to Asia, and eventually sold it to Razer here in the US.
Amazing. And yeah, innovation is such a big part of that. I know in just a few minutes, I want to touch on what innovation there's going to be in Angel City that you're going to bring to the league that is an established league. But I'd love to hear kind of timeline. Like, when did you start to want to bring a team to LA, and how did that whole process evolve?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is I was brought in to help accelerate it and make it happen. So the idea is really Natalie Portman, the actress and activist. She got involved with Time's Up because of her, goal to play an active role and pay equity, initially for entertainers, but through her work and involvement in Time's Up, met a number of people as part of the U.S. Women's National Team, as well as the players. Heard this incredible speech from Abby Wambach, which talked about life of professional women after they retire, and how it's so drastically different from men as far as opportunity, balance sheet, right? And it really kind of inspired Natalie to learn more about why it was so different for these professional women, that they're top of their game, who are excellent at what they do, who get more accolades in what they do than some men that might be the 24th, 25th, 26th person on a roster who never, sees the field. And she started asking a lot of questions and really wanted to learn why this was the case. And then eventually the questioning shifted from why is this the case to what can I do? And back in 2019, there was a friendlies match with the U.S. Women's National Team here in Los Angeles at the Bank of California. It was also the 20-year anniversary of the 99ers. And so Natalie and the U.S. Women's National Team, Players Association led by Becca Rue, Cliff Bar, Time's Up, and then our third co-founder, Karen Nortman, who is a venture capitalist here in Los Angeles at Upfront Ventures, put together an event to have women come to the game and to celebrate the 99ers. And at that event, to draw awareness for the women's fight for pay equity, and it just shows support. Natalie brought a bunch of her friends being Eva Longoria and Jennifer Gardner and Uzo Duba and America Ferrara, and it really just started to develop this connection where they realized that they can sort of amplify what's going on and use their power and their platform and their voice to help educate and hopefully eventually affect change. And that was sort of the first way that Natalie showed her support and how she could help. And fast forward to the World Cup and then winning, she was blowing up Kara's phone, who happened to be at the match, and said, we need to bring a team to LA. Like, if we want to make meaningful change, we have to have a seat at the table. And then through this very fateful basketball match that Kara and I played in August, Kara pulled me aside, knowing that I was an entrepreneur, knowing that I know how to build businesses and communities, and said, look, Natalie and I have a day job. This is what you do. We're really excited about this idea. Do you have the bandwidth to run with it and put together a business model and a business case and lead it if it's something that's you're passionate about and excited about? She didn't need to ask me twice. That was a Monday. That Sunday was my first ever MLS game. Becca took us to the bank for what we call El Trafico, which is our derby. So it was LAFC against the Galaxy. And I mean, I was truly blown away. I mean, it was the most transformative experience ever. I've never walked away from any sporting match and talked about the experience and not about the score. And I never really realized what true fans looked like. Like I said, I'm a season ticket holder for USC. I consider myself a huge fan. I know the chants. I yell at the refs. I cheer on the players, and I don't hold a candle to supporters groups worldwide, let alone the 3252. I was blown away, and so that really drove me. As well as in the middle of the supporters group for the 3252, in the south area of the bank, is a woman by the name of we'll learn later, but Lindsey Vaughn, waving a flag that said, "Bring the NWSL to LA." So it was sort of at that moment and at that game where Natalie and Karen, I knew that there was an audience, there was a fan base, there was excitement, there was interest in doing this, and if we did it right, we would have a home and we would be welcomed in a city, obviously, where there are 12 professional sports teams, including USC and UCLA, as well as sort of competition for your time with the beaches and the mountains and the movies. and like hiking trails. So, but we knew we would have something special with that support.
That's incredible. What an incredible story. I mean, you're so right. There are moments in especially soccer matches where the atmosphere, and I've heard it was very much this way in France with the World Cup, especially the France US game, where it was just like transporting people to just this overwhelming feeling of like, oh my gosh, this is so important. And so to hear that a fan was holding a flag that said that's just so cool. I think for any fans listening here, it's like, keep doing you, keep being passionate.
No, it was amazing. I mean, look, the hardest thing when you launch any business, right? Anything in any industry is finding your consumers, finding your fans, finding your day ones, right? Finding your evangelists, turning those customers and fans into evangelists to be your sort of marketing tool going forward. If you can establish that, then you can sell anything, right? And I always liken it to Apple, right? If you look at an Apple cell phone against a Samsung cell phone, no one is going to tell you that the feature set of Apple is better than Samsung. Samsung says it's a better phone, like, through and through, right? And it's cheaper by comparison by Apple. But then you have people who will buy the Apple phone no matter what, knowing that it costs more and that it's an inferior product because they believe in who they are. They have an emotional connection with the brand. It's an extension of who they are and what they believe in. And if you can establish that, you can win. And in our case, right, we want to put the best product on the field. We want to be champions on and off the field. We want to have positive social impact in our community. But knowing that there was a community already there and waiting for this just propelled us even further. And I remember we announced, that Angel City, secured the rights to Los Angeles on July 21st. I only remember that date because it's the day after my birthday. And I remember pinging NWSL LA, which is Lindsay and Mark Rojas, who had this line, who kind of are supporting this like huge supporters group. And I remember calling them or just DMing them and saying, I'm like super excited about what you guys are doing and following it. Like, I'd love to talk to you, if you have a chance, right? Because I didn't want to tip my hat yet. And so they said yes. It was amazing. We did this video call that we recorded. And, I got to know them and I just wanted to hear their story and who they were and sort of explain who I was and what I do. And it was this unbelievably, I'll get emotional, but it was this incredibly emotional conversation where I said, your passion and your conviction and your dedication has resulted in a women's team coming to Los Angeles. Like, this is happening because of you. And my ability to raise money and my ability to bring on partners and my ability to bring on a team was in large part based on the fact that you existed and you've started NWSL, and we know that we are filling a need and filling a void. And obviously it's our goal to deliver on the promise of bringing a team here and to deliver on what's important to you. But that was obviously just the beginning of an amazing relationship that we have with Lindsay and Mark, which has now turned into Rebellion 99, one of our 3 official supporter groups. But it wouldn't have happened. It really wouldn't have happened without knowing that they were here and supporting us and wanting us to be here.
Wow. Well, and I just can't wait for you, Natalie, Kara, is that right? Kara?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To be at the first home game and see that fan base. I mean, that's going to be so amazing.
Like, that's sort of exciting. It's the entire ownership group that is going to be we were talking about it yesterday, that there actually are not enough seats in the particular section where all the owners of LAFC sit. There are literally not enough seats for the number of owners we have, let alone their family and kids and friends and whomever else they want to bring to the game. I mean, we have built Angel City with 14 former professional U.S. women's national team players that include, Abby and Mia and Julie. We have Billie Jean King. We have Lindsey Vonn. In addition to all that, all of Natalie's friends I just talked about. Kobe Jones is an investor. Ryan Khalil is an investor and partner. Our other lead investor is Alexis Ohanian. Alexis is, married to the great GOAT Serena Williams. Serena and their daughter Olympia are investors. And Alexis, believed in us from the beginning, understood the upside and the value and the opportunity within the NWSL, as well as, our goal to, fight for leveling the playing field and elevating women's sports to that, seen on the men's side. And our intent to build an organization that was bigger than the game, where mission and capital could coexist, where our desire to lead with purpose and passion will drive profitability and show that, to your earlier question, how we plan on building this differently with a different investor group, with a different approach to the market, that not only can be meaningfully, impactful in the community, but also will deliver returns for ourselves, for our players, for our fans, and for our investors.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my last questions, is just as, looking forward, and like I said, bringing a new team to an established league that is growing and expanding and bringing new innovation in. But what do you think will be unique about Angel City FC, and like, what are you excited innovation wise to bring to the league?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, it's something that we have so much fun every single day thinking about. So the team behind Angel City is made up of product people and technology people and community builders. We are not a legacy team of sports executives who approach every problem with, this is the way it's done, or this is the way it should be done, or this was tried and failed, so let's not try that. In fact, I'm so thankful for our ownership groups who actually can bring some sports experience to us, and even specifically, soccer experience to us. So we thought about our community building differently. We thought about how we build Angel City differently. So we don't view ourselves as a soccer club. Angel City is a platform, and that platform stands for quality and impact. And our first product into the market, that is an expression of what matters to us, is a soccer club. It is Angel City Football Club. Our ambition is to be a global brand. Our purpose is to set higher expectations on and off the field. And so as we've built Angel City with this mindset of creating an organization where mission and capital coexist, where they're equal, every single step we've taken to develop the soccer club, to develop an entertaining experience, to develop a community, has also been about how do we grow and build a program where purpose and social impact can really be felt within our community. And you saw that when we announced our club and our partnership with the LA84 Foundation and the Play Equity Fund, where they use sports to address social injustice in our local communities, to our more recent partnership with Theragun, where we launched the Angel City Impact Fund with Kiva organization, which does micro lending to individuals that have a hard time getting loans in the traditional way, targeting businesses here and entrepreneurs here in Southern California, to the other partner we announced with Heineken, where with them we will be addressing the LGBT community here in Los Angeles. And so those are examples of our sponsorship model, where we give 20% of our dollars back into the community from every sponsorship deal we do, which, in and of itself is highly unique. No professional team has come out and said they will do that. We're so excited that Kansas City, which is, launching this year in the NWSL, coming from Utah, has adopted, the sponsorship model and giving 20% back. But again, we want to be champions on and off the field. We want to have impact. And by building a platform first, it allows us to think about how do we bring in the tools necessary to amplify what it was doing, to build awareness for what we're doing. And that includes not only leveraging this incredible investor group, but also developing and building these one-to-one connections with our community and fans to get our message out. We have a membership program before we even have a season ticket holder, our season ticket program. We have a private chat community where, not only can we talk with our fans, but they can talk amongst themselves. And we launched our Kiva Angel City Impact Fund. We gave credits to our community so that they could actually reinvest into these entrepreneurs. And so those are some things that we've already done that are differently as we start building more products and services to connect us with our fans, whether it's our game day app or the experience leading up to a game or post a game or an off season. It'll be likened more to, again, what are the right ways to build a community? The fact that it's a community of soccer loving fans is, secondary to that.
That's incredible. It's so cool to hear. Yeah. How differently you guys are taking this and building this. I honestly had no idea. I mean, I know I've seen like lots of things and lots of exciting things, and I had heard the sponsorship, but this is incredible. And gosh, hopefully the future, I love that we're a platform and one of our products is a great soccer team, or soccer club. But oh man, this is just amazing. And I think you're right. Like community is key, especially in women's soccer or women's sports. Building community and engaging fans. And it's so great too that you have so many storytellers as part of your
Yes.
investor team. That's important too, I think.
Yeah, no, actually you hit on something that's really important, which is content and storytelling. And there's really no better, city in the world to do that here in Los Angeles. And we have, incredible people that are both in front of the camera and behind that do that for a living. It is our goal to tell the stories of our community, of our fans, of our players, and then of, the soccer world at large, right? I mean, they're incredible athletes around the world playing soccer. They're incredible athletes around the world in other sports leagues that we want to talk about. Just this past Friday, the social team highlighted 5 incredible women in the front office of the Los Angeles Rams. And so, we believe it's, part of our responsibility as a platform to shine a light on these incredible women and what they're doing. And also to show young girls that there's a path forward to having a job and a role within the sports world where it may not be on the pitch, right? You may not be the best person on your team in the sport that you love so much, though that doesn't mean you can't have a role in sports. And we want to expose those worlds and expose those people that are doing incredible things. That's very much sort of part of our mission and how we want to leverage our platform to build awareness and excitement for, Angel City, but just women in sports in general.
That's incredible. I feel like I could talk to you for hours about all of this and all the little like bits and pieces. I do want to honor your time though. And so just thank you again for coming on and giving us a glimpse into Angel City FC and what you guys are doing. I'm just, again, really excited for you and to see what happens in this next year. I'd love for you to tell folks where they can find more information, where they can follow you and the team and all that stuff.
Absolutely. So on Twitter and Insta, we are at weareangelcity.com. URL is angelcityfc.com. Please follow us. We have so much happening in 21, including announcing our colors and our crest, launching our seat deposits, announcing our sporting director and head coach, and we'll have some player announcements. So we have a lot of fun things going on this year and would love to also just hear from you and what's important to you in building a club. And no matter where you are around the world, we want you to be a fan of Angel City FC. So get a membership and talk to us.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining me today.
Thank you. Pleasure.